Loren, is that you? What are you doing here? Are we doing a list today?
I don't know. You let me in. First mistake.
I didn't have my glasses on.
We're doing a list.
We're doing a list? What are we doing today?
I think today we're going to do top 5 hidden gems.
Ka-ping! I think it's going to be a good one.
I think so. Fucking crazy. I don't know about your list, but I'm excited to hear yours.
I'm excited to hear yours as well.
Okay, let's start with...
With you. With me? With you? Do you want me to start off this list?
I think you should.
Because the first one is not going to make a lot of sense.
Well, what a tone to set. Let's set the tone, Tom.
So I just found out about this game at Analog Brewing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait. Have we played it together?
Maybe.
Okay. No,
Maybe.
My brain's moving now, man.
So this is one that I found out at Analog Brewing, and I had to do a bit of research to find out where it was released and for what and whatnot.
Okay.
But it was only released for arcade. It was published and developed by SNK. It came out September 24 of 1996.
Ooh.
And it's not a game that you would think I would ever bring up.
What?
It has to do
SNK
with... Yeah.
Gambling. Is it a horse racing game?
It's the horse racing game.
No, fuck
Stakes Winners 2.
Okay. I'm down.
Stake Winners 2, man. It's
down.
an awesome horse jockey game. Who knew betting money on horses you're running with would be so fun?
Right?
Yeah.
I vibe with this because there's a N64 horse racing game, like Japan only, that I watched this poor bastard hit his head against for over 120 hours before he's beating every N64 release.
Yeah.
And boy, this one hurt him, man. So I get it.
This one's cool. You get to train your horses in between each race in different ways. Like there's a water one where the horse has to try to maneuver like halfway through like a half body of water through him.
Okay.
And that like he has to avoid jet streams and shit. And there's just a bunch of different ways to upgrade your guy. You can buy electric tasers for your horse. Does that, or whatever they're called? What do jockeys use again? Whips.
Oh, okay.
You can buy electric whips for your horse, so they go even like holy shit, man.
So SNK. So was this like Neo Geo arcade?
This was definitely Neo Geo arcade.
So like the MVS. So
yeah.
You could technically play it at home then.
You could if you wanted to.
Huh.
And while you're racing. On the map while you're racing, there's power-ups. So there's ones that boost you up, there's ones that are carrots for your horse that regens their health, and there's ones that are poison icons that makes you slow down drastically.
No. Okay,
and
you're
adding
adding in like a little bit of arcade.
Yeah,
stuff.
and
Okay.
you have to keep mashing a button to keep going forward as much as you can, but the thing is, if you keep mashing that button too many times, your horse runs out of energy, and then you will be dead last. So it's like, you have to kind of guesstimate where you have to do it.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, Stakes Winners. What's your hidden gem?
My number HM. Honorable mention. I mean, it's not really, but everybody that I've talked to, they have no fucking idea that this game existed. So it's on my list. It's an honorable mention for hidden gems. NES, Sunsoft, September 1990. It started off as The Terminator, but then they lost the license.
Journey to Silius.
Yes!
Yeah, man. That fucking game's soundtrack is awesome.
Vomitron covered it, didn't he?
Vomitron did cover it.
Vomitron covered it.
Yeah. God damn it, Vomitron.
You beautiful bastard.
All the hidden gems Vomitron's doing.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But you know, it's a really good game.
This game controls really well.
Yeah.
Oh.
It is.
And like you can tell, now that you know the information that it was Terminator,
yeah.
Go back and play that game.
Yeah, and look at it, and you can be like, oh yeah, totally.
It's 100%. Okay, I get it, totally.
Yeah.
All they had to do was change the protagonist. That's it. That's
all they had
did.
to change.
Turned it into
the enemies
some dude
stayed the exact
with
same.
fucking hair, and that's it. It went from Kyle Reese to that guy.
Yeah, some other dude.
Oh, it's a great game. By the way, if you're curious, that guy's name is Jay McRae. That's who you control. So it's a bunch of robots trying to take over colonization after Earth became overpopulated.
In the year, does it even set the year? I don't think it does.
Now.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, that Jay McRae started off as Kyle Reese. So whatever, because they changed it all, they changed some sprites. I still think, I think it maybe was the, I don't know, because the box art was awesome to me too, man. It drew me to the game. I just don't get why this game wasn't more widely known.
Yeah,
like I would speak this game in the same tone as Contra and Metroid. And, like to me, Silius or Journey to Silius, whatever it is, it should be in the list of must-play NES games.
I agree.
Must-play NES games, and yet nobody puts it in that echelon. You know?
Do you want to know what year this game is set in?
No. Yeah. Well, yes, I do, but I don't know.
0373. So the time has started again.
Oh. So they've like started recounting after overpopulation and all.
Yeah.
That. Okay. Won't dwell much longer on that. That's my honorable mention. You should play it if you haven't, and really, you should have played it.
Sunsoft released a bunch of good games.
Everything
they weren't just a peripheral company.
Batman.
Yeah.
NES Batman is
so good.
Sunsoft was like equatable. They were like the reverse. They were the anti-LJN of the NES.
LJN,
right?
Go fuck yourself.
Yes. My number 5 is maybe the newest. No, it's not the newest game on this list. But it is one of the few Xbox games I played. Original Xbox. It's Kung Fu Chaos.
Is that like a sequel to Kung Fu for Nintendo?
No.
Okay.
So this is an original IP. It's made by Just Add Monsters for the Xbox in February 2003. And what this game entails is, so it's a brawler, but it's a brawler set in the scene of making a movie, and the director is screaming out extra things, like if there's pots on the wall, he wants you to smash the pots. Like as you're beating people up, you got to jump up and smash the pots with like a high kick and shit like that, right?
Fuck?
It's chaos. It's crazy. It's literally Kung Fu Chaos. You have up to 4 players, so it's a multiplayer game, and it's kind of got a party game vibe.
Cool.
But you literally act out the scene according to the game settings director.
Yeah.
And then he gives you scores based on how like exciting and how well you did. Not necessarily if you beat up all the enemies, but if you did it with flair.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But like pulling off exciting combos, it earns you more stars, and the stars is what impresses the director.
Yeah.
But you can also play as single player and go through all the stages, and the final boss is the director. So, because you finally disagree with him, and you're like, no, I know better, and he's like, so then he decides, yeah, we're gonna fight. Yeah. So, I fucking love that game.
That's funny.
It's a super fun. What a cool idea. If it was re-released now with online, I think it would be a hit. It'd be a hit.
Kung Fu Chaos.
Yes, and that is my number 5. What is your?
So my number 5 is a arcade game again.
Okay.
It's Star Wars Battle Pod Arcade.
I mean, everybody immediately goes to Star Wars Trilogy.
Yeah.
For arcade.
Yeah.
Right?
This one's different. So, released October 8, 2014, made by Bandai Namco. It's really underrated rail shooter. You go through a couple different missions, like you go to destroy the Death Star, trip up the AT-ATs on Hoth, speed your way through Andor. It's 6 bright, colorful Star Wars arcade levels. You get to be in an X-Wing snowspeeder, Millennium Falcon speed bike. It has really cool soundtrack and sound effects because the speakers are mounted in front of you and they're loud. It's about time to a Star Wars game that finally gets it right. Like this felt like one of the first good movie-based scenario levels,
right?
Where like you felt like you were really there trying to shoot down the Death Star and trip up AT-ATs. It's a really pretty arcade game. So you know what? Put $1 in and fucking have a seat or stand up, depending which one which arcade cabinet you have, and it's still like a joystick, and it feels really good, and you feel like you're actually, like I said, maneuvering, and you feel like you have the full movement of your ship when you do these different levels, even though it's a rail shooter.
Yeah. And honestly, rail shooters work in arcade, so I don't know why this didn't become more popular, you know?
Well, eventually they would before this, for the GameCube, when they released the 2 or 3 Rogue Squadron games.
Rogue Leader, yeah.
Yeah, but then, arcade and the cabinet and the circuitry you have, it's going to give you a more memorable time.
Yeah. Okay.
They're just playing it on a controller at home, I guess,
Yeah, but it's also, that was kind of the dark ages of arcade, too, so I get why. Like, people would walk into a Palladium, or, like, now it's Rec Room, and you just look at, like,
Rec Room's kind of shitty.
It's shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's shit. The last time I went to Rec Room, you know what I spent all my time on?
Pinball.
There was one pinball machine.
One pinball machine at the top of the stairs.
Well, no, that one's fucking trash.
Oh.
It's beat to shit. That was The Walking Dead, which is a great pinball machine, but
yeah.
it's like beat to shit. No, they had a Beatlemania sitting in the corner.
Oh, really?
Like a 2018 Stern?
Yeah.
Which is also like it's a throwback to the retro style with no ramps. This isn't a pinball topic.
Yeah,
Podcast? Why? No. Look how I just jumped back in there. But the last time I went to Rec Room, that's the only fucking thing I played.
Yeah.
That and the F1 simulator for once.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, it's so good, but it's literally $8 a go. So
it's expensive. Yeah.
And there's a reason. It's super expensive. That's your number 5. But
that's my
what
number
is your
5.
number 4?
My number 4, and this one is a lot of fun. It's it's Cybernator for Super Nintendo.
Okay.
It's kind of like a Metal Warrior game. It's made by Konami, and was released December 18 of 1992. It was developed by NCS Corp. It's wicked variations of weapons for your mech suit in this game.
Yeah. And there's a lot of 1992 games that somehow slip
Just
under the
right
radar.
under the radar.
And a lot are Konami.
Yeah. There's a great soundtrack. I actually wouldn't mind having this one on vinyl. It's that good. Like, Konami and their music during the 90s, I don't know what they were on, but they had people hired for years. And they're like, we're going to need these guys eventually. Keep signing them.
Yes. Is that the house
Don't
band?
let them go.
It's like the
yeah,
house
it was the
band
house
thing?
band.
Yeah.
And the graphics are superb. And the mech style colors are more flat than Metal Warriors in some ways. So it's like more of a clay looking color palette for this game than Metal Warriors, where it's more vibrant and explosive.
Yeah.
And you can battle against other mechs in this one as well. This game feels faster than Metal Warriors, and it feels good in a different way. Like, I'm not taking anything against Metal Warriors because I love that game.
Yep.
But I only just recently started playing this game about a year ago. And I wish I'd have rented this back in the day and played it on a CRT.
So
TV.
true hidden gem.
True hidden gem. Only found it out recently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love those ones too. Man.
So yeah, that's why Cybernator is on my list.
Okay. I like it.
How about you, sir?
My number 4 is an NES game that I don't know how many times I looked at this at the rental store and went, not a chance. And again, so this is something I haven't played until I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years ago on emulation. And the only reason I played this is I was watching a great gentleman by the name of Empty Eye play it as a speed run on Twitch. So I watch a lot of speed runs on Twitch. And he started speed running this game, and I was like, wow, how ahead of its time is this game for an NES game? I am talking about Golgo 13, The Moffat Conspiracy.
I love this game.
There's 2 games.
Yeah.
So there's Top Secret Episode, and then there's this one. I greatly prefer... I've tried both. I greatly prefer the second one. I feel like it improved on the first game in every single way. And I can understand why this game was not a hit back in the day. The box art looked like a romance novel. And I was like, no, fuck that.
But
I'm not renting that. The game is outstanding, though.
What arcade game did they knock off?
That I don't know. Because... So let's get to the heart of it. There's more than one style of gameplay in this.
Yeah.
There is side-scrolling. To me, you know what game absolutely directly ripped this off?
What?
Bayou Billy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because you drive a Ferrari in this game, in like the Rad Racer style, where like you race it down the road with curves and you try to take out the other cars and shit like that, right? There's like the dungeon crawling parts where you're going through the building and then trying to find the exit. There's the side-scrolling parts. There's the first-person fucking sniper parts, which are crazy good. Like, you gotta take the wind into account and shit like that. When you gotta shoot the helicopter down, or the pilot in the head through the helicopter, I was like, this is fucking... If I would have played this in 1991, it would have blown my fucking mind. And this game didn't even... It came out before that, 1990. So, developed by Icom, published by Vic Tokai, which...
A very underrated sometimes game company,
Dude.
Or a company that will release stinkers.
They only had a small handful of games. They were an electronics company that just decided, hey, we're going to publish a couple games.
We're going to try this out.
Well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is making money on it, so we might as well.
Yeah.
Golgo 13, let's talk about that. It's a manga. In Japan, Golgo 13 is to the rest of the... Like, to Japan, what James Bond is to the rest of the world.
Okay.
He is their top secret spy. In all the mangas.
Is he a secret agent man?
He is a secret agent man.
Okay.
The manga is very... I'm not going to say very adult, but quite mature. There's definite sexual tones. There's definite...
For Nintendo, that's so weird.
Yeah, like it
because
gets,
Nintendo
it gets
hated
away
that.
with shit, man. But like, so it doesn't... Literally the notes I put down it mixes genres like Bayou Billy, except it doesn't suck corn from shit. Like that game. That
Gross.
game sucks corn from shit.
Yeah, that game sucks.
Like the light gun part, and then I get what Konami was going after. They were going after this, but that game sucked.
Yeah.
I don't care. I hate Bayou Billy. This, however, was very playable. But the sniping levels, man. Fuck, I had fun with that. In like 2017.
Yeah.
I wish I played it in 90. I would have bought the game, I think. I think I would have bought the game. Like, never
I
mind
also
renting.
own that game.
Oh, good game. My number 3?
Yeah, you're number 3.
My number 3. This is actually... I don't know if this is the most oddball of my list. I think it's the most oddball. Developed by Vivarium, published by Nintendo. It came with a accessory in the box, and therefore it's a little bit more expensive than a typical
What kind
used
of
game.
accessory?
A microphone.
A microphone.
It came out in April 2006 for the GameCube.
Where would you attach your microphone on your controller?
Not on the controller.
You attach it to the game.
One of the ports of your 4 that was in front on the GameCube.
So you have this other wire coming all the way back down to you.
Yeah.
Right on.
But it was important.
Okay.
I'm talking about Odama. Have you ever played it?
I've never fucking heard of this
Okay,
game.
perfect. This is a hidden gem. It's a true hidden gem. Odama. So it's a real-time strategy pinball hybrid game.
What?
Okay. So it uses a controller and then the supplied microphone. The world, it's like kind of a... You're looking at like an RTS. You're looking at like a valley.
Okay.
Okay, and you have these big stone flippers. Suspend disbelief for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then up the middle, you have a castle in the distance, and then you have like troops, but you also have your own troops. So this is where the microphone comes into play. As you are flipping the flippers, you use the microphone to tell your own units, move right, move left.
Why can you accidentally shoot your?
You can
own...
accidentally friendly fire your
With
own
the pinball.
guys with the pinball, which is the Odama. Okay.
What the fuck?
You speak directly to your soldiers, so you get clear of any rolling pass while flipping a giant stone pinball across the battlefield, which is called the Odama. Right? You can tilt the battlefield to like roll the Odama around your players or roll them into the opposing enemy. Right? You can. So it had the option of, I wish this existed, dude. Like, when I read this, I was like, oh, yes. This game was originally meant for a second support player, like, aka a little brother, where you could plug in, the DK bongos, and you could play a rhythm on the bongos to up the morale of your fucking troops. Do you know how much I want to... Do you know how much?
I'd be banging those drums all the time.
Do you know how much I want you and I to play this fucking game right now?
Bang, 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 bang,
But
bang,
we're like on the bongos. I want to play this game so fucking bad right now, co-op. Way more fun than I should have had. It was not a great game. Okay, but
Well, that sounds amazing.
way more fun than I thought I was gonna have with this game, and it absolutely
Can
it's
we
a
get
hit.
bongo drums and do this, or they just never...
No, they blocked out the code. It was they only tested the code, and it was at the like Tokyo Game Show or whatever for that year. It existed for a brief moment, and for a brief moment, the world knew perfection in gaming. Man, I want this so fucking bad.
That's funny.
But you can still do the microphone, and I think it was like 11 or 12 words that it knew.
Okay.
Like forward, back, right, left, stop,
Yeah.
attack, right? And like, so you were essentially playing an RTS with a pinball
Yeah.
and issuing orders vocally.
That's never been done since.
It's a fucking cool
or
game.
ever probably
Yeah,
will be.
maybe for a reason, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I liked it. I enjoyed the game, and it's
That's
a hidden,
true
it's an
hidden
absolute,
gem, man.
absolute hidden gem to me.
That's a hidden gem.
You're number 3, good sir.
My number 3, my number 3, and it's a cop out. It's Phalanx for the Super Nintendo.
Okay, I immediately know why.
Do you want to know why this
I
is a hidden
immediately
gem?
know why.
Because you would walk by all these games, okay, and you'd, as a kid, you'd look at the cover and you'd be like, do I want to play this? Do I want to play this? Do I want to play this? And Phalanx's cover, and I'll put it up, it's an old man playing a banjo. And on a very tiny, small piece of the box, you see a ship. But
That's
the
it.
thing is, as a kid, when you walk by, all you're seeing is that old man playing a banjo, so you're like, pass,
Yeah.
pass. But guess what? This game is fucking great.
Is about that little ship in the corner
And it's
of the
great.
box art. It is
And-
a side-scrolling shmup, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's made by Chemco. And
Chemco.
and yeah, it's a horizontal
Chemco is more
shoot 'em up.
notorious for like I'm not gonna say romancing the Three Kingdoms, but like those style of games.
Yeah, same thing with Irem and whatnot.
Yeah.
It really depends, but yeah, that's
But they made a good
it.
shooter.
This is a very self-explanatory hidden gem. It's if you walked at the rental store and you walked by a game with an old man playing a banjo, you're not gonna rent it. You walk right past it, and you pick something else. That's why it's my hidden gem.
I got it. It's fair, and you're right. It is a good game, and the box art was abysmal.
The box art killed this game.
Absolutely, no, you're 100%. And the like in magazine game ads for it was literally just the guy on the banjo.
Just the old man.
Put a fucking screenshot of the game.
If people know it's a shoot 'em up, they will buy the damn thing.
I don't know how long it was before I actually knew it was a shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like it's not my number one genre, but I love them.
Yeah. Same.
It's crazy, man.
How about you? What's your
Please.
number 2?
My number 2 is I was just playing this the other morning.
Okay.
I banned gaming for the rest of the day because I had a bad go. But
Wow.
it is Lufia 2.
Oh, that.
Rise
I
of the
guess that's
Citizen.
a.
Dude, this is a hidden gem to me.
I suppose that's a hidden gem.
And this is why. We'll say a fair number of people knew about Lufia 1,
Yeah.
which is Lufia and the Fortress of Doom.
Great game.
Why this is a hidden gem? This thing came out in May 96. Nobody had this. Nobody fucking bought this game. Like the N64 was on its way. We openly knew that it was coming. We were playing the Mario 64 demo at Zeller's when this game hit
Fuck
shelf.
yeah, I
right?
remember that, man.
Nobody cared to buy this game. Maybe you rented it if you couldn't afford an N64 and you held out and, or, I don't know, you were a massive RPG fan, maybe you bought this, but otherwise, there's so many people that don't know about this game and you are missing out. So it's the prequel. It's much more of a puzzle-based RPG than the original. Like, the original was essentially a Final Fantasy clone. This one, wildly better. The dungeons are puzzle-based. You have different tools like a grappling hook and a sword and bombs to get through the puzzle. All the enemies are on screen instead of the old school way, which was just randomized. Kind of. When you're on the overworld, they're not visible, and it's random encounters. But when you're in the dungeon, you see every single enemy, and for the most part, you can avoid all of them.
Really?
Yes. If you
that
can
doesn't
learn
really
their,
make the game that difficult, though,
if
does
you can learn the patterns of the enemies, you can avoid every single one, except for shit like ninjas, like the bane of my fucking existence. That's why gaming was banned the other day, by the way, because a ninja got me. He back attacked and I died. But the equipment that you throw on, almost every single equipment in the game can teach you an IP-based attack or healing spell or something. And you can use that if your IP bar is full. Some of these attacks are fucking obnoxiously overpowered. Like if you happen to get the Gades blade, it attacks 8 times at double attack. If you have the Decker blade in like the ancient cave, it takes half the HP off the target.
Holy crap.
If you use that on the final blob in the ancient cave, like it can take 5,500 HP off the boss, which immediately makes him beatable. So it's wildly good game. Ancient cave, it's just ridiculous. It's a 100-floor randomly generated challenge dungeon that you can play over and over and over, and that's what I was playing a couple days ago, and also fuck it. So I love the game. Everything about this game is, to me, it is 100% the most underrated role-playing game on the Super Nintendo, and so many people missed out on it, and it's a shame.
I missed out on it.
It's so good. It's so good today.
I only played that on emulators like years later.
Yes. I literally was playing it 2 days ago.
That's a good game.
Yes.
That's a great number 2.
My number 1.
Oh boy.
Is a Neo Geo game.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Okay. So SNK.
It was published by SNK. It was developed by Saurus.
Okay.
Now, the best way I can describe this one is, like Ikari Warriors or Commando.
Guerrilla War.
Yeah, like a top-down.
Guerrilla Warfare, Ikari Warriors.
The
second level on Contra.
If Zelda was like a shooter, like a co-op shoot 'em up, essentially, this is much more of like a walking shoot 'em up.
Okay.
Okay, it's came out in November 1997. I'm talking about Shock Troopers.
Oh, I played the shit out of the second one.
Shock Troopers, baby.
Can you go into tanks and stuff on the first one?
I'm trying to think about that.
We'll look into it and we'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, what I remember, there's 8 characters, right?
4.
No, 8.
What?
8. You can choose, you can go lone wolf, or you can choose like a trio. You can do like team battle and choose 3 characters. And do you remember? Yeah. You could do like fire, and if you were like holding a fire in one direction and then started moving around, it was like Smash TV. You kept shooting in that direction and you just strafed around.
It's very much a Smash TV style game.
Kinda, yeah. But yeah, you could fire and hold, then you would like strafe in the one way. You could, like, if you were up close, you could tap the fire button and like melee. And the melee like got you bonus items and a higher score. Like bonus items, I mean like better guns, rapid fire, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
There was an evade button.
Yes, there is.
Like the C button, like so you could like dodge roll and shit like that. And then the fourth one was like special attack. And or like switch character if you were doing the team of 3 thing, right? So that was the coolest part, is that you could choose the 3 players. It was like rolled in that Marvel versus Capcom, like swapping out kind of thing, right? And the characters did absolutely have different attributes.
Yes.
Like spread fire and shit like that, right? There were 7 stages, but you got to choose from like 3 different starting points. And like halfway through the game, you could change the direction. You could actually like, no, I don't like how this one's going, and we're gonna go this way because the other dipshit that threw in a quarter is terrible. So we're gonna go the easier way, right?
So is this a hidden gem because you didn't see this cabinet often?
I never saw this cabinet
because I've never seen a shock trooper or shock. I've never seen a shock trooper 1 cabinet.
Really? Okay.
I've seen a shock trooper 2 cabinet maybe 2 times in my life.
I don't think I've ever seen Shock Trooper 2.
Yeah.
But no, Shock Trooper 1, you got to choose from 8 different characters. So if you had 2 players, you could do 6 different characters.
That's cool.
But it was a really fucking good game.
Yeah, man. That sounds cool.
And also that like trademark Neo Geo arcade run and gun. Fuck yeah, like top-down Metal Slug, man. Who wouldn't want that?
Who doesn't want that, damn it?
If you don't, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. Mister, I need to hear it. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is not going to make sense to anybody. But it's because it used to be popular for a couple months and then it just fell out of obscurity. But there's still a group of us to this day that play this game between the hours of 8 a.m. to about noon to 1 p.m.
Okay.
Between Friday, Mountain Time, to about Sunday morning max. And it's because the servers that are populated now for these games are out in New York, but most of the players come from Russia. So this game is called Darkest Hour Europe 44 to 45, and it's a mod that was created for the game Red Orchestra, which was made by Tripwire and published by Bull Games back in March 14 of 2006. This game uses the 2.5 Unreal Engine, and it's a massively multiplayer co-op game. Play usually nowadays, like I said, you play this early morning, and you're either a foot soldier or you pick a class. So like a machine gunner, you have an MG42 or a BAR, whatever side you're on. Or you can ask a couple of your friends to join this game and get in a tank. And that's where it's fun, because one guy can be on the viewfinder and pop out of the top and look. The other guy's on the turret, and he needs to see where he's aiming, and you have to tell him. And the other guy is driving the tank. So you need to be a good unit together to make riding a tank fun.
I love when games actually rely on co-op.
Yeah.
And not just every man for himself, even though we're on the same team. I love that.
This game is a hidden gem because it came back out in 2006. And the servers now are still populated on weekends early morning because this game is still a hidden gem for those people that are still playing the same old-ass game, man. Like, there's still games like this that exist now, but people prefer to play this old-ass 2006 game, mod. And the mod makes it so that it's United States or Britain versus Germany instead of it being Germany versus Russia. Because the thing that happened with Germany versus Russia is that Russia has really good tanks, and Germany has really good tanks. The United States, for the most part, didn't really have amazing tanks. Eventually, they would have a Firefly that came out with a longer cannon, and that was like your top tier battle tank. Other than that, though, like you could be a foot soldier and you could have binocs, and then a guy in a building behind you, you would relay your binocular topographic location where you see enemies, and that guy would get on the pipe and order artillery shells on the location you just sent, and you're gonna get points for that because you're the one that spotted it. So if you don't like tanks, there's still a bunch of other classes you can play in this, and it's still relevant to this day, which makes no sense to me. Like, there's a lot of these old games that are still sticking around, and you know why? Because they're fun.
Because people play them, man.
Because they're a lot of fun.
Yep.
And that's why Darkest Hour is my #1 hidden gem, because it's a super dated
that's
game.
a deep dive hidden, because I've literally never heard of it.
Yeah, I'll put
And
some videos.
those are awesome, man. I love those.
And it's like a simulator of a World War II game. You get shot once, you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
If you're in a tank and you're in the turret and you get shot and that turret's on fire, open up the canopy. Even though you're burning up, you have 3 people below you that are trying to get out. Open up the canopy. There's just a bunch of shit like that in this game. And like at some point when you're shooting your heavy machine gun, your barrel will get too hot and it will warp. So you'll need to change out the barrel of your machine gun to make it shoot straight again. Because you may have a crosshair aiming right in front of you, but you're actually aiming like 5 feet left without realizing it. So just for how ahead of its time as a massively multiplayer game, 64 player servers, it still hits me the same way it did back then.
64 and 06.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, that's my top 1 hidden gem, and I know that it's not a hidden gem to a lot of people, because a lot of people will be like, well, that was easy, readily available and whatnot, but it's just for the simple fact of it could have flown under your radar and you could have never fucking heard of this game.
Yep. Like me. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
I'll totally honest. I never, not even on the radar.
Yeah, and it's very odd that you would have never heard of it, because normally you know of everything for video games.
I like a lot of PC stuff. It sneaks under my radar for sure.
Yeah.
But hey, it's always fun to go back and learn about them, right? Like,
yeah.
Console stuff. Yeah, not much of it gets past me, but hey, there's always something, man. Like, I'm sure there's one thing on this list that you guys that are listening didn't think of, but also I bet there's something that we didn't think of whatsoever that you're just screaming at the screen right now. So let us know. What did we miss? What's the hidden gem that's so obvious that even we didn't put it down?
Yeah. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear from you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.